want to double check everybody's audios are good. Benny, can you just give me audio?
Audio.
All right. How about Phil?
Check one.
All
Check
right.
one.
And Mike, I know you're good here. So, okay, I'm going to focus on that one. And holder is up.
And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists, 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence. Jimmy, I gotta take a dump.
What?
No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP. Elm Logistics, for all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics, pride, performance, and partnerships.
Okay, hey everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Monty and the Pharaoh After Show, the After Survivor Series show. This is ESO, and I'm here with the president of Thursday Night, Phil DeCesare, Mr. Michael Monte, and the player Benny Scala. What's going on, guys?
Hey,
Let's go.
So, what did you guys think of the Survivor Series? We'll start off with Mr. President there. What did you think of that card tonight?
Thought it was really good, man. I thought it really was from beginning to end. In fact, the first match I thought would be very challenging to top, but I think that WWE did. It was almost like a multi-ring circus again, and I think the ladies did a fantastic job. I think their innovative spots. It was just.
We'll break down the
really
individual.
cool.
We'll break down the individual matches in a second. Let's just get an overall view and say hello to everybody. Now, next we've got the man in the corner there, the player Benny Scala. What's up, Benny?
I thought it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I mean, every match had something good. I like some more than others, but it delivered. I enjoyed it.
And now we have the man of the hour. Man, am I surprised you're up this late. But we have Mr. Michael Monty.
Good show, guys. I'm waiting to hear the differences in opinion. We already, before we got rolling, there was already differences in opinion, so it should be a little fun to hear what you guys got to say.
I think we're going to hear some more of it. So I know this is late, so let's start breaking this down from the beginning. Why don't we start off with what I was surprised with was we had the women's Survivor Series match start the card off on the night. I was a little surprised they opened up with that. We had Asuka, Io, Zayn and Bayley against Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, and Shotzi. So let's go up to Phil and see what he has to say about that. What's going on, Phil? What did you think of this?
It started with the intro. I thought was great. Everyone was wearing on Team Asuka the masks in kind of solidarity. Totally cool. That in itself showed unity. Sadly, they were not victorious if you were rooting for them tonight. It was just I thought it was really well done. I didn't see any gaps in the work. I just thought, and again, I know that before we went on air that, I think we had a few differing opinions about a few of the spots, particularly the garbage can spot at the top of the cage where Io Sky decided to put herself in a garbage can and do a cross body block, flying body press into the awaiting arms of several of the opponents in the ring. Again, here's where the suspension of disbelief comes in when we're using these sorts of things. And, we can look at it further and say that maybe this trash can isn't the most solid trash can either. But I thought it was a cool spot. I thought it was pretty daring on her part to get in there, not to be able to see where she was going and to pull it off without anyone getting hurt. And, I think the rest of the match kind of followed suit with the props, and I really liked it. I know Benny might have a few different thoughts, but I definitely want to hear those. Benny?
All right, Benny, what do you got there, Benny?
Well, I mean, for the most part, I liked the match, except for the two spots. One was where, she put the Io Sky put the garbage can over her head and did her imitation of bowling for dollars. And I mean, I told you guys before the match, I mean, I've often been in fights where people put garbage cans on their heads and they jumped on me from the top of a building. So, I mean, to me, it was totally believable. And then Charlotte did the same thing. You got 9 people down below calling for a fair catch, at the 30. But I mean, other than that, I mean, the match was that, to me, that took away a little bit, but not. It didn't ruin it, though, because all in all, I mean, there's a lot of good spots in the match. I think everybody performed really well. I liked the way they had and the way the announcers build up. They built up Bayley as the star, the MVP, they called her, of the match. And I think they did that for a reason, because then, I mean, she took a spear in place of one of them, and she went up taking the pin. And of course, like on Monday or Friday, they're going to use that's going to be her demise. But I thought the payoff was going to be tonight. I kind of like the fact that it wasn't, though. I like the fact that they're going to just let it fester for a few days. But no, it would. I mean, I would give it a B. If it wasn't for those two spots, I'd probably give it an A or an A+.
No, I would. I'm kind of in the middle. I would say for the participants involved, I was a little disappointed in what happened in it. There were some good spots. Obviously, the trash can thing was a little crazy. So some of the things that bothered me, I understand suspension of disbelief, but some of those 3 minutes were 5 and 7 minutes before they came in, and then you had like in between Bianca and Zayn coming in, that was only like 2 minutes. So it seemed to be paced on the spots getting done, not the pace of the match. So that was a little bit off for me. Otherwise, I mean, it was a good match, not great. I think there was a match that overshadowed this on the card.
The problem too with this kind of match is like you have these people being out of commission for like minutes at a time. Exactly. From something that really wasn't catastrophic. I mean, you just see them laying there for 4 minutes before they suddenly come to life, which they wouldn't be, they wouldn't be comatose for, 10 seconds in a singles match. So you kind of have to put up with that. And like, when is Becky coming back? You see her laying there for minutes. So that, I didn't like that either, but the actual wrestling, the maneuvers, I thought was very, very good.
Yeah. That ref bump in the corner where the ref disappears for 5 minutes. That's it. Yeah. That's pretty much what happened to all the participants several times. And
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Charlotte moonsault off the top really didn't come across that well.
And you see them all kind of like band together and hold hands and let's catch Charlotte when she jumps.
I think the Io Sky one came across better with her in the garbage can than the moonsault. Yeah. So,
what did you think of the fire extinguisher spot to counter Asuka's mist. I thought that was pretty
Clever.
creative and ironic. Because
I like that. I did like it. I popped for that one.
Clever, funny, amusing, something different. Absolutely.
Yeah. Ironic because Asuka brought the fire extinguisher in.
Right.
Turnabout is fair play, right?
I like the way that each of them, like, so like one brings in the chairs and a trash can, but the other one brings the top of the trash can. Like typically when you go to Walmart, you shop and you buy the totes, you buy the two things at once, right? Like you don't. Yeah. So I kind of like, why don't you bring both in at once? But I mean, it was what it was. But I like that. I did. I really enjoyed the fire extinguisher. That was one of my favorite parts of the match.
I think you guys are missing the point, though, right? The first match of all these cards are to get the pace of the pay-per-view moving and to get the crowd off its feet and get those high spots over. And I also think that they use the women. There's examples of putting the women in a situation where they're looked at by the fans at a higher level, right? And they allow Charlotte, Becky to do their moves. So I understand your point, right, Benny? That's exactly what I hate when I watch a lot of wrestling is like it's not realistic to do a triple moonsault to kick someone in the head to finish somebody. But I think in this case, it really was about getting the pace off on the pay-per-view to get everybody who's geared up for this. Because I think we spoke about it last Tuesday on the Thanksgiving special, right? That, everybody was geared for this. Orton, CM Punk, no one knew it was going to happen. And they had to get all these high spots and get the crowd rolling on this. So I wasn't so dead against it personally.
No, and to that extent, using that as a premise, it worked very well because it definitely did accomplish that.
So being that it's late, let's move on to that second match. This match was actually pretty good. We had Gunther and The Miz. My only disappointment with this one was a little shorter than it should have been. But honestly, they put on a really good show.
Yeah, it was the old premise and idea that that perhaps Gunther underestimated the Miz, his intensity, his credibility, and his ability to mount a comeback. Miz was very aggressive from the get-go, and certainly didn't look like the goofy Miz that we've all grown accustomed to. He had great matches with Ziggler back in the day, and was capable of doing this nice back and forth. And I think he really showed it tonight. I think he surprised a lot of us. We thought Gunther was going to walk all over him, but wasn't the case.
I tell you what, I thought it was a great match. And I mean, what I really liked, I've always liked Gunther. I have a whole new level of respect for Gunther after this match because his facial expressions were absolutely perfect. That, telling this story that, wow, I underestimated this guy. He's a lot better than I thought he was, to the point where, like, when he did win, I almost thought he was going to help Miz up to his feet and congratulate him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I thought, like, man, that is storytelling. So I thought it was great.
No, you're right. I kind of had the same thought that he might raise his arm or something and some kind of show of respect. But there was the suggestion, and I think you're right in that there was a suggestion, Benny, but he didn't quite take it to that limit. So I thought that was well done too.
Yeah.
The one thing you guys are forgetting about, I think everybody on this panel, with the exception of me, said that The Miz was going to win the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
You guys have certainly all of a sudden forgotten.
No. I own that, man.
I said if any title was going to change hands, it would have been that one, but it wasn't going to happen.
Tell you what, though, for a couple of seconds there when he hit the skull-crushing finale, you thought there might be a chance.
Yeah. And the fans, again, a testament to his ability to rally the fans. The fans were really behind him, too, which was, something. Because I know Gunther's pretty popular. And
I think it says a lot for the Roman Reigns, Gunther type of pro wrestler. That even though there's in your mind going into every match, there's no chance of the opponent winning, no matter who the opponent is, somehow they convince you during that match they just may lose. And I think Gunther's got that just like Roman does. I mean, there hasn't been a Roman match where I'm like, oh my God, he's going to lose this match. I can't believe it's going to happen. I actually thought watching that match that these guys might be right. The Miz might pull this one up, but I'm like, no, it just can't be happening.
Well, and what I really like too is Cole. I think it was Michael Cole was actually selling the storyline of, entertainment versus wrestling, which I was surprised to hear that, but I thought that was great too.
Speaking of Cole, did you notice that at least for every match, sometimes twice, he announced the attendance at 17,100 and whatever it was. So he was banging that drum all night,
Oh, yeah.
every spot he could get. And I don't know if it was a dig to the opposition or just a testament to their drawing power, but we all know that there were 17,100 and some odd people in the building.
I want to ask you a question though. There's no way the WWE really considers AEW competition, right? I think it's just little digs, right? Just a little fun digs, just to say,
so.
Little boys, let me pat you on the head, Tony Khan.
I absolutely do not think that WWE considers AEW its equal in any way, shape, or form.
No, definitely not.
I think that's an accurate statement.
Well, listen. So it's getting late again. Let's jump into that next one. So originally we were going to have Carlito against Santos Escobar, but we ended up with the what is his name? The Ultimate Dragon against Santos Escobar.
Dragon Lee.
Wait, what? But what did you guys think?
Ultimate Dragon.
What did you guys think of this one? This one, I kind of. It was hit and miss. There were some good spots in it, but it just seemed out of place on this card.
Well, let me take this just for my point, and then I'll let you guys go on this. So last Tuesday again, we said, interesting matchup, right? Carlito against Escobar.
Right.
Both have too much to lose. Let's talk about a double count out here because I can't imagine one of these guys going to lose. There's too much on the line here, and it hurts both characters. Well, the WWE trumped us, right? Instead of going for the double count out, they went into Carlito's hurt. Here's his replacement, right?
Yeah.
And then you knew Escobar was going to win the match. So overall, I thought the match was okay. Personally, it was good, but again, their accomplishment was to get Escobar over and get out of the match with Carlito.
Again, I'll say the same thing I said on Tuesday, which is. Why is this on a premium live event? This could have been done on anything. I mean, it didn't belong there. It just seemed out of place.
No, but Bruce, it does belong there because you got to cool down the crowd a little bit. You can't just have them. That's what AEW, even though the matches to me aren't pay-per-view quality, to the AEW fan, they got too much shit, like 10 pounds of shit in one bag. You can't keep pounding match after match after match. Sooner or later, the crowd loses out of gas. I mean, even back in the old days, right? You have your main event in the middle of the card, and then you'd have Johnny Rods against Jose Estrada to cool down the Garden crowd, and then you go back into it.
No, but
this is what they're doing here, right?
There's a stronger mid-card level that I think could have been brought in. The tag teams really weren't well represented on this premium live event. There were other things that were a little bit neglected. So, but I understand what you're saying, but I think that this would have been on the 7:00 show, the lead-in show. I don't think it should have been on the actual live premium event. There were other characters that I think would have been better off being there.
Well, I mean, they're trying to build the Escobar Rey Mysterio feud for when Rey gets back, and I had no problem with the match. And I was I wasn't surprised that they took Carlito out of the mix and they threw in the other guy, Dragon Lee, because it kind of saves. Carlito already took a pin to Lashley. And you don't want to turn the guy into a jobber. I mean, guy's pretty much a legend. You don't bring him back to start losing everybody. So I think, to take him out of the mix in this match, I thought it was a good move in WWE's part. And it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. I had no problem it being on a match. It wasn't a 5-star match, but I don't think it was a bad match by any means.
No. Guys, can I read you something from the chat? It goes back to the last match and just weigh in because it's a very interesting comment. Guth 1980. Gunther is horrible. Can't figure out why people like him. Oh, wait. Continue to push him down our throats and we'll come around. He has no mic skills, no gimmick, no physique, garbage. You guys want to weigh in on that one?
I think the guy proved the point. He's already under this guy's skin. He's done his job.
And no gimmicks needed. In fact, that's his whole style. And with respect to his physique, he's trimmed down quite a bit. When Gunther started, he was considerably heavier and bulkier, and he's really trimmed down a lot. But beyond that, I think that's his whole MO. That's his whole gimmick is not having gimmicks, and I think that's where his appeal is.
I'm going to guess that guy is probably 24 years old, and no offense, but Gunther is 1977 WWF heel who got over very well, and yeah, maybe he doesn't have the best mic skills. I don't think they're terrible, but Waldo Von Erich I thought he was pretty convincing. He got heat, and I think Gunther's very similar in his type of mic skills. And yeah, he doesn't have the greatest physique, but Stan Stasiak, remember, champion, right?
Yeah,
that guy wasn't going to win any bodybuilding contest, but the guy was great. So I think Gunther. I think that's WWE's throwing a bone to maybe older guys like us, saying, "Okay, we realize that some of you still like wrestling, and old school wrestling and storylines and psychology. Well, here, this is for you." I don't agree with that statement at all, but of course everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, he's not cookie cutter. You don't want someone, everyone who has, abs and 100 tattoos. It's a nice contrast, man.
Right.
It really is, and it's a realistic, athletic looking physique too.
Come on, this guy
No one
doesn't.
would be-
At least this guy doesn't have to listen to Nikolai Volkov and the Russian national anthem every week.
Yeah, right. We don't have to listen to him.
I tell you what, he did a very good version of Cara Mia, though. If you ever heard that, excellent. He's got a good voice.
Yeah,
Tuesday Night Titans, man. One of my favorites.
I love it. Classic. They did a good job of getting Escobar over as a heel, of course.
Yes.
When he went after Dragon's mask, that always pisses me off when I see that, taking a perfectly good mask and just starting to destroy it,
Right.
How dare you?
That's the sort of thing that makes me want to get into the ring and just give him a boot or something, Stay off the mask, man, Respect the tradition.
Respect the tradition too.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Overall, I thought that was a good match. Though it was okay.
Yeah, it was
It
good
did it did its thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So before we go on to the next match, we got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in a minute after a word from our sponsors.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Tired of that same old breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Same old tasting scrambled eggs, burger, that dinner steak, ribs, or pork chops. Why not add a little bit of spice or just a touch of heat to make the difference? Change that scrambled egg with a little bit of Johnny Fabulous's John Cena Sr.'s $1 Million Jalapeno Hot Sauce. Great on burgers, steaks, chops, and those barbecued ribs.
And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles.
All right, guys, and we are back. So we left off. We were talking about that Santos Escobar match, and now we have to move on to honestly my favorite match of the night, and I'm a little surprised at that, which was Rhea Ripley against Zoe Starks. What did you guys think of that?
It was very good. Zoe, I think, was a credible opponent, and she showed a few times during the match that she was certainly capable of getting a victory. In fact, it was real close a few times. And that corkscrew move that she did inside the ring, that senton or whatever, that's really innovative, really well done. And I thought she made a good accounting for herself.
I have to agree.
I'm 100% with Phil. You know, of course, I thought I would have a better chance of waking up with Tom Brady's ex-wife than Zoe Stark winning, but she put on a great match. Really, I mean, it was a quality match. I enjoyed every second of it. And that one move that Phil mentioned, the senton, phenomenal.
Yeah, really cool.
So one thing I have to say was Rhea putting on her best Luna Vachon outfit tonight, or what? I mean, I'm not sure about that makeup.
Oh yeah. Unique.
I will say this, again, I think going back to Tuesday, we discussed that they haven't done a great job with Zoe Stark, and this was important that Zoe did a good job so people recognize it like you guys just did. So I think they accomplished what they needed. Right. But then again, where does Zoe Stark go from here, right? The Rhea Ripley show continues, and off to the races. Guys, one more comment in the chat room. The great RJ Hudson says, Gunther isn't under my skin. It's just I try to get into the guy and see nothing. The guy offers nothing. I feel bored just like I did with a lot of the 70s and 80s wrestling.
Well, going back to this notion that it's like a multi-ring circus now, you have that type of match, that type of competitor for a certain segment of the market. You have the cage match, you have the weapons match for another segment, and so on. So I think it's just a matter of something for everybody. And I think that's what really is a strength of WWE. It has these different offerings, that variety. So totally cool. Not everyone's going to dig everything that they put out there.
Well, I mean, even back in the 70s, like a typical Madison Square Garden card, what'd you have? You had midgets, you had ladies, you had Andre, you had a little something for everybody. And I think this is the same mental set.
Yeah, I miss the midgets. We can't use that word anymore.
Little people, right?
Yeah. They talk about PC, man. Oh my God.
Sky low.
I was going to say though, where do we go? Where do we go with Rhea now? Is this Jade Cargill entrance right here now?
No, you got to build that. That's got to be a build for a while. So I don't know where you go with her, but I mean, there's a lot of other women out there that you can just throw into the mix. What are the newer NXT girls that have just come up? She's got a lot of meat that she can go through before she gets to Jade. Jade's gonna be that's gonna be WrestleMania level.
And Nikita Lyons is coming back, for which I'm really happy.
But don't you guys have to you're literally, what's the next pay-per-view after this? Is it the Rumble? Is this next? Is Rumble next?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the next big one. There's no day one pay-per-view anymore.
Right. So what I'm trying to say, I mean, shockingly enough, WrestleMania is literally 3.5 months away.
Yeah.
It's like you probably need to start building the Jade Cargill Rhea Ripley match now. Well, maybe not. Maybe she wins the Rumble. I don't know, but that's a match that deserves people waiting 3 months for it to happen.
Yeah, there's going to be a big build up for that, and it's got to start soon if it's going to happen at WrestleMania.
But you also have the Jade Charlotte, you have Jade Becky. You have so much for that young woman to do. That I mean, her career is booked for the next 2 years.
Waiting in the wings also is Camille, who was previously with who? NWA.
She's phenomenal.
She's signed on. She's incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I did not know that she signed.
I didn't know she was either. But if she
Camille is coming to NXT, yeah, she is. She is quite something. Yeah, I'm a fan. So,
You know
such
what? Now I'm
talent.
starting to think like the WWE is starting to destroy all these companies. You can't be taking all this talent away because you took Camille from the NWA.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, there's nothing
Well,
left there,
the
man.
problem is then it's like you're going to have a log jam of talent. And how
Yeah,
do you get them
too
all
much.
over because
Yeah.
you have so many of them?
That's a challenge right there. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, but
Or the WWE might be letting some of the older group go, right? Sooner or later,
Yeah.
like, I don't really need Charlotte Flair anymore, because I've got this whole new group of these
or maybe we
group of women coming through.
let's go back and develop more than just singles competitors. You look, this past week I was looking back in the day. You had so much depth in even the tag team divisions. Why can't we build that with the women's divisions too? We are we saturated with wrestling? Yes, but at the same time, there's other aspects of wrestling that aren't represented. So,
Yeah, tag teams are definitely a good way to kind of to disperse.
We get a lot of hate on Gunther. Jason just saying he's done with Gunther too.
Oh my!
This is if this is the mindset of the wrestling fan, you got a whole problem because if Cody Rhodes is going to win that belt, Gunther's going to be the next guy up, right? So it's like a lot of people.
Well, I mean, maybe WWE's listening to these people because my whole mentality with Miz winning would be that Miz would become the IC champ, and then Gunther would go right on to not Cody Rhodes, but Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. That would be the next
not to
progression.
jump the gun. We discussed this on Tuesday. All game changes, right? With number one, CM Punk coming in. That's the CM Punk's going to get his main event, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen now. So he'll get night one against Seth Rollins. Whether he'll be champion going into that, is a whole nother question, right? You know what I mean? I think the game changed tonight.
That is the big game changer. That is true.
Absolutely. So listen, we've got one more match left on the card tonight, and that was the men's War Games, where we had Cody, Seth, Orton, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn against Dominic, Drew, JD McDonough, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor. Yeah, I had to try to do that off the top of my head. It was a pain in the rear, but got it off there.
Nice.
But what did you guys think of that match? I think they had some great spots. I think there was a lot of really good stuff that happened, but then I felt like the ending kind of got rushed. But what did you guys think?
I thought it unfolded pretty nicely.
The dog's got lots of opinions tonight.
What does Brady think? Is that Brady?
What's that?
Is that Brady?
My dog is Bree.
Oh, Bree?
Bree's a huge Tony Rose fan. I mean, I thought the match was a lot more fluid than the ladies' match, in that you didn't have these guys, just sitting there comatose for minutes at a time. There was a lot more involvement. I enjoyed it. There were a lot of good spots. I mean, I think they did a very good job. It's really hard to orchestrate 10 people at the same time, but I thought they did a good job.
I agree. I totally agree. And, it's interesting. Mike and I were talking before about we see perhaps this rivalry developing, continuing to develop between Drew and Damian as to who is going to lead the group. And I think we saw elements of that when they were deciding who was coming out next. And I think that's a great build there, and I think something's gonna happen there very soon. And I think some of these little stories are being furthered or were furthered tonight by the match. I had a feeling Orton was going to be late, and I'm actually surprised he showed up when he did. I thought they were going to kind of build up that tension a little more, but he was well worth the wait. He looked great, Again, they mentioned how his back is fused, which, could, potentially be a challenge. And it's interesting because Orton actually has hypermobile shoulders, and which is one of the reasons why he can do those RKOs out of nowhere. It's a blessing in the sense that he can do it anywhere, but it's a curse because he can easily dislocate his shoulder. And again, what the spot of the night might have been with JD McDonough coming off the top of the cage and and Orton catching him, and I was amazed.
was
Kudos to McDonough for first of all for coming off like that, and it just looked great. I thought.
Where in the women's match, the two off the top spots seemed really like, pushed. That actually came across really, really well. Just the comedic timing, everything worked on that move, throwing him off the cage into the RKO. I love that one.
Yeah, it was really good.
And by the way, let's not forget though, he missed it. He did miss the RKO. McDonough hit the mat before he could even. Again, I'm
he
not
did.
trying to
He did. Yeah, he did. Well,
it was not perfect.
To the discerning eye, he did. But
don't you love those camera cuts? Come on.
But to most of the 17,100.
Here's the thing that bothered me that not ruined the match, but I was disappointed in. I felt like Randy Orton wasn't playing the Randy Orton character. Like the Randy Orton character, even though Jay helped him, first he was mad and then Jay helped him, and then he forgives him. The Randy Orton character would have forgave him, but then hit him with the RKO.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Stone Coldish.
And I really did expect that. I did expect that.
I'm just glad when Orton was doing his fist pounding to the mat that he was hitting it like this and not knuckle first, because I think he hurt himself once. Didn't he pop a shoulder or break his hand or something when he did that before? I was just praying they didn't do that again, and he didn't.
And again, in this final match, like we spoke Tuesday, Priest took the pin, which leads us to, first of all, if the ratings for Raw aren't through the roof Monday night, which they will be, I'll be shocked. Itachi asked me out there, did he think that Seth and Rollins will be on different brands? Absolutely not. CM Punk has come back because he's asked the WWE to finally get what he always wanted, his WrestleMania main event. That's the deal here. He won't win that main event, but he will. Him and Seth Rollins will be the main event for WrestleMania. Now my question is, though, does he go after Roman first? And do we get a Roman CM Punk match at the Royal Rumble, which would be off the hook?
That's a good question.
It would give Roman his next opponent, which we've been talking about. There's been an issue with that main event level opponent for him. So, hey, it gives him. He could give CM Punk the opportunity to get that rub in the right way. If he barely loses that match, he's on that next level, and then roll him right into Seth Rollins.
Or do we stick to the storyline that Damian Priest gets knocked out of Judgment Day, McIntyre takes over the Judgment Day, and he'll eventually win the belts from Rollins, McIntyre, and then Damian Priest will be cashing in on McIntyre at some point.
Yeah. How many times is Damian Priest going to get screwed out of cashing in his Money in the Bank? Because that was kind of amusing tonight. But I had another thought tonight as Rhea's match was going on. What if Priest does turn against the Judgment Day and decide to go after Rhea's title with that briefcase instead?
That's a bit out there.
Listen, in this day and age, who knows?
Well, maybe he'll challenge Dominic. Dominic will defend her honor, and maybe they'll go at it, and he'll be Dominic for it, perhaps. Or again, as I said before, I think maybe Dominic and Rhea will have some kind of conflict ultimately in some kind of match. That would be more plausible too, from a size perspective. I think that they could do something pretty good there. But going back, I don't know. I almost feel like Roman and Drew would be a better matchup in many ways, and Punk and Rollins, certainly would be. So
Well, I think what I'm saying, if Punk was to go against Reigns and lose, that kind of takes the shine off him with Rollins. So I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It would be nice if it happened.
Oh yeah.
I would say then, if you're not going to have Randy Orton turn on Cody, then Randy Orton would be next up against Reigns. But then again, what are you doing with Cody? I think you have to stick with maybe Damian Priest cashes in on Roman Reigns, and he's the next guy, and he's a face, and he loses at Royal Rumble. Who knows?
Yeah.
All I'm saying, I will ask you this though: what's the mindset of just running Punk out there so the crowd goes crazy? You can't. It's so off the hook. You can't even hear his music. But what did you get out of it? What was the thing there? Like, what were they trying to accomplish?
Didn't even give him a microphone.
Maybe just to give him a conflict or a rivalry out of the gate. And, again, he's out there. And what did he do? He was stealing the shine from this great match, that all the warriors were standing together at the end, celebrating their victory in battle. And he comes in and he just,
So you think Rollins comes out Monday night and says, you know what? You're exactly what I told you are. You're a cancer. I don't want you here. We're a victory and you come out to take it all away from us. And yeah, maybe that's the way you're going to go with it.
Well, Orton, you have a ready-made Orton Punk feud right there. I came back tonight. You stole my thunder.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That was his moment. And Randy was drinking it all in too, as he should.
You can't have Randy stay good too long here. Randy's got to turn on somebody.
You're right. You're right. He's a heel for sure. For sure.
They need more heels in the company. They need more solid heels in the company.
Yeah.
There's too many baby faces right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of social media hate on Punk coming back already, but I wonder how many of those people are just AEW fans and it's sour grapes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's possible for sure.
Well, the reality, let me ask you this: how do you think the actual locker room feels that he's back? Do you think they're all okay with him being back? Do you think that, look, the guy had problems before in the WWE. He had problems in AEW. I mean, Leopard doesn't change his spots. I mean, when he came back to AEW, remember that speech? He finally was back in love with wrestling again. That only lasted a few short months. So I think if you're the WWE, you got to get the most out of this as possible. So it's like you need to get him. You need to give him his main event at WrestleMania, but somehow figure out to get him at the Royal Rumble against Roman Reigns and lose, and still continue to keep his shine into WrestleMania, because you need that list of Roman. Roman's gone on the record saying he doesn't respect Punk either. So there's a lot. Listen, there's a lot of meat on his bone. It could go a million different ways here. Like I said, Monday Night Raw is going to be like must watch.
Yeah,
TV, in my opinion, if you're a wrestling fan.
Absolutely.
So they've at least accomplished that. You definitely, as a fan, you definitely want to turn it on Monday night.
So they used the premium live event to sell the live show on Monday. That's what it seems like to me. I hate to say it because overall it I don't know. It just seemed like something was missing from the night. It was a good show. I have to say, what more than an average Raw was it? Outside of the two gimmick matches that bookmarked the bookended the card, what was different than an average Raw or SmackDown?
CM Punk came back. I mean, we said that on Tuesday night, right? Didn't matter what the card was going to be. If CM Punk comes back, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it almost rendered the whole card irrelevant once he showed up.
Yeah, and and venue is everything. You can always count certain things, and even if it's not I still say pay-per-view, not. I've got to practice premium live event. I've got to say that 100 times before that comes naturally to me. So kudos to you, Bruce. It rolls right off there with you.
Oh, no, it's tough.
But, but it is. But the venue is everything. Chicago, great crowd. I mean, it's always hot, whether it's a TV or a premium live event. It's really good. So I think the crowd was really the key. I don't know where Raw's coming from this Monday. I know traditionally when there's a pay-per-view on Sunday in a city, they would likely have Raw on a Monday. So if they can be anywhere near Chicago, and again, I don't know where it is, it would really electrify the situation a little more.
Absolutely. I'm not sure where they are either, but normally that happens, and there's plenty of venues in Chicago, so they definitely could roll over for a night or two there. So, but On that note, does anybody else have anything else to bring for the night?
Indigestion from this junk food that I ate during this.
Yeah,
I just know. I know
didn't
it's
eat
getting.
healthy.
I got a bunch of old guys on the on the air here, so I got to respect the bedtime there. But we're
I
getting,
got dehydrated from the third consecutive cheat day. Now.
you know,
I'm with you, brother. I know.
well, that quick 20-minute talk has ended up being like a 45+ minute talk, so I figure you guys might want to get out of here. Hey, Mike, do you want to plug anything before we start wrapping this up?
You caught me there. I'm just trying to see where Raw is
All right,
on
hey
Monday.
Phil,
Hold on.
Phil, what do you have to plug before we get out of here?
You know what? They're finally.
Hold on.
taking-
It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so it's fairly
Okay.
close.
Really close.
Yeah. Well, they're finally taking the View off the air. Praise the Lord. So
Really?
Amen.
maybe we could take over, guys, huh?
Wow.
Mike, you can be our Barbara Walters, God rest her soul, and
That's
I
it.
don't know who's going to be Whoopi. I don't want to be Whoopi. That's for
Definitely
sure.
don't want to be.
Please don't be Whoopi.
No whoopee on this show.
No Whoopi, baby. No,
Whoopee free zone.
absolutely.
So Ben,
I want to promote this Thursday, though. We've got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on.
Ooh,
so that's going to
wow,
be a
great.
big one
This
for the
is
whole
huge.
family here.
That's
It's going to be really big. So
You got to title it "Enter the Dragon," man, because that's
Enter
so
the
cool.
Dragon.
Enter the
I like
Dragon.
that. That's good.
That's awesome.
I will.
That's so cool. I can't wait.
I will not be running the Manscaped ad during that interview.
Oh, come on.
so hey Benny, what do you have going this week?
Well, we're gonna hopefully have a true crime episode on Monday, and that will be about Ronald DeFeo of the Amityville Horror fame in 1974. I believe on Wednesday we're going to have a Twin Bill baseball podcast, and I think we're going to debate. Well, this should be very interesting. The greatest baseball team of all time. Who is it?
The Boston Red Sox,
The guys
of course.
with all the championships.
86
Yeah,
Mets.
86 Mets. You got the 27 Yankees. You got the bunch of different teams.
And then, we obviously have the Monty and the Pharaoh show every Thursday at 9 p.m. This week featuring Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And then at 8 p.m. we have The 30 featuring
That's 30.
Mr. President, The Player, me, and who's going to be, what are they going to be back this week?
Yeah, I think what do they want to come back? Dan wants to come back.
Awesome. So,
Hey,
Everybody
Phil,
loves it.
that's right. You got to defend. You got to defend your title, dude.
That's right. Yeah.
You've had it for a while now.
the longest
Yeah.
reigning The 30 champion, Phil
14
DeCesare.
days by Thursday. Yeah.
Praying for a miracle. We'll see.
Not like a 24/7. You can't lose it at the laundromat, right?
And don't forget, Benny and I have something coming up called Wrestling Remembered, and that's going to
That's
be
right.
another
Yeah, we're
lot-
going to do our This Week in Wrestling. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
This week in wrestling history has transformed into Wrestling Remembered. We have some cool stuff, and it should be fun because we're going to be doing it live for you guys. So that should be.
By the way,
exciting.
pretty cool intro too that you made, Bruce. That's
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I really
getting
like
there.
that.
We're
I think
getting
everybody's
there.
going to like that.
I actually added a couple more pages in. One of them is a ratings. Remember the first thing when I opened up an 80s wrestling magazine, first thing I went to was the ratings, see who was champion in the places that I didn't know or I couldn't get to. And, so it was, I made one of those pages, and there's some Easter eggs in there. There might be some fans that hang out in the chat room. There might be some people who appear on the show in those rankings. So you'll see as it comes out. But that should be
I'm
fun.
different. I actually, when I bought the magazines in the 70s, I turned to the pen pal section to look for the hot girls I could write to.
That's sweet. Wow.
Awesome. So, hey, Mike, why don't you take us on out of here?
Well, again, I want to guys thank you. I think this is our first recap of a pay-per-view. So hopefully we'll be doing more of these moving forward. You guys did a fantastic job. Good insight. We found out people don't like Gunther out there. So
Yeah.
it's
I'm
just a little
shocked.
bit shocking.
Yeah.
But again, I want to thank you guys all for your dedication to the channel. I want to thank all the people, the family that joins us every week and who showed up even here for this recap. And I really do hope they enjoyed Survivor Series. I thought it was fun, and I thought they gave us everything we needed. Right? You got CM
Yeah.
Punk, so and they kept it kayfabe, so no one knew he was there. So anyway, thank you guys, and I'm hoping you have a blessed Sunday.
Amen.
All right.
Hey, we're in Sunday now, actually.
Yeah.
That's
Happy
right.
Sunday.
We've turned it over.
Later,
Happy
guys.
Sunday, guys.
Later, guys.
See you Thursday. Peace.
Peace.
All right, we're off the air.
Bruce, do me a favor. Send me the MP3.
Yep, I will. I'm just remuxing it
All
right
right.
now. Awesome. Yeah, great. I think that came out great, guys. Great job, everybody.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Next time, what I'm going to try and do is what I'm going to try and do is create a room that we can reuse over and over again. So once I set up all the parameters, we don't have to redo anything. We can just log in and go. So right now I have to reset everything every time we go into the room. Awesome.
Great
guys.
job, though, Bruce.
So
Yeah, very
thanks,
good.
guys.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce.
So,
Good job, Bruce.
little cleaner than last time. Last time was a little. I was having to jump.
No,
in,
you
but,
did fine.
got
It ran fine.
Yeah, we got the.
There was. It sounded like there was a lively crowd in the chat room, which is pretty cool for 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you had like anywhere from at one point 21 people, and so not
Wow, that's great.
not bad.
Yeah, and this is late.
Spirited
Too.
discussion too. A lot of
Considering I only
Twitter
posted it at like 2:00 this afternoon or whatever.
Right,
time
right.
it was. So
Yeah.
So
it's pretty good.
one
Good
of
job.
the- One of the things I think we should do is have like a Christmas party type get together sometime in the next few weeks. You know, before like right around the.
But right
holiday.
now, I'd like to have a go to sleep party. So
Later.
Yeah,
I'm at it.
GTS, right, for sure.
send me that.
Get your
Send me
vitamin
that,
Z's, everybody.
MP3.
You
See
got
ya.
it. We
Bye.
got it.
See
Later,
you guys. Peace.
All right, good night.
Good night. Good job, Bruce.